During the last couple of weeks, I felt the need to disconnect from the internet and reconnect to myself, which has been challenging considering the fact that I work online as a business coach. It felt like I've been running away from myself and like I needed to catch my breath, and that had taken me way too long to get to the point of understanding that I actually needed to take my break. So this is where my dopamine detox came in. And to be fair, I didn't even do any research before getting into this experience. I wanted it to be completely mine. I didn't want to have any prejudgments. So during these 24 hours, I was not going to touch my phone at all, be on my laptop, listen to music or podcasts, have sex, read books, or conversate with anyone. Additionally to that, I did half a day of fasting, considering our fragile hormonal balance as women and it being easily affected by fasting. I slept for a total of 11 hours that night, a wild experience seeing as I never slept that much. And when I woke up, I instantly felt the urge to check my phone, as we usually do. But this time, it was different. Queen coming at you from the bed. I think the hardest part for me is going to be not being in contact with anyone. And I feel like it's so difficult because I think it makes me feel lonely, and usually I'm in contact with so many people, and now I just feel kind of disconnected, which is not necessarily bad. It's just weird. Right, Chichi? And my brain was kind of afraid of not getting the instant gratification and being disconnected. I literally came up with a gazillion reasons why I should take out my phone right now. I had to look up whether the grocery store was going to be open or not. What if I wanted to walk somewhere and I needed my maps to guide me there? All of these reasons that my brain was telling me that I needed to grab my phone for. And I said no, because this time I was going to give myself a break. I was going to give myself time to reconnect to my inner purpose and my inner mission. So I grabbed my journal and I started to think of all the things that I had pushed backwards, all the things that I had not journaled about for such a long time, and the things that I had not reflected upon because I was so busy in the doing. So the main thing that came up for me was acknowledging my accomplishments and allowing myself to see that I had come a long way already. I am such a perfectionist myself that oftentimes I can forget that I have done so much and in a very short period of time, but I'm always focusing on what's up next, what I can do better, where I can improve more. So me reflecting right now really allowed me to see that I had arrived at such a different point than the point that I had started at, and all of the accomplishments that I've had so far are far beyond my wildest imaginations. I felt so good reflecting and allowing myself to see that I was doing good, I had something to be proud of. The next reflection that I worked through were family relations, and especially the one that I have with my mom. I felt so deeply for her in that moment for some reason, and I wanted to do everything in my power to make sure that she would feel that too. I wanted her to not feel alone, to make sure that she knew that we would always be there for her. I wanted her to know that there is so much space in my heart for her, and that little bit of space is always going to be reserved for my mom. It's never going to be filled up by anyone else. It's meant just for her. And it was like there was so much space left open in my mind, and with nothing left to do, that I started to grab my guitar, which I don't know if that was allowed in my dopamine detox or not, but I started to write a song for her. And for the first time in my life, I actually finished a complete song, and I did it in one sitting, which was mind-blowing to me because this was something that had never, ever happened before. So after that experience, I kind of felt like my energy levels started to dip. I felt like I had a difficult time sitting with myself because I was not able to share all of the big things that were happening inside of me with the people that I loved and with the world, and that made me feel sad and empty. And I shifted from being on top of the world to not knowing what to do with myself and just not feeling anything really. I read a lot about the connection between anxiety and depression and dopamine after I did the challenge, and I started to understand that my connection with friends and family is one of the biggest things that ultimately gets me to be happy at the level that I am. It's the possibility to share and love that allows me to feel like this, to communicate and share and appreciate. So the rest of the day, I did not much else but staring at the ceiling and thinking about life. I tried to meditate for a little bit, yet silent meditation has never really been my forte, and my mind just went into overdrive. There was so much input and no output. It felt like I was just going a little crazy. I had all these images that my mind was showing me over and over and over again. I could hear songs playing in my head. I felt like one of the most difficult things for me was not being able to play music, because on a daily basis, I love to dance. I love to play music, hype myself up, get excited, do it while I'm cleaning, do it in the morning to just free up some space and move my vibrations and my energy and move my body. And I felt like without music, I was not as stimulated to do so. So that really took a big part of my personality out of my life. And when it came to the food, I also have this big passion for food. So whenever I wake up, I'm pretty excited to cook and to make something for myself. And in this case, not being able to do that actually also took out a big part of my enjoyment. And that, I guess, is the entire point of the project. Funny thing being that when I actually ate, which was around, I would say 9 p.m. or so, I got so nauseous afterwards. And I noticed that before I was craving very fatty stuff. I wanted to eat chips, I wanted to eat McDonald's, but I ate some lentil soup with some bread, but it didn't really fall into my body the right way. My body was just like, no, let's just not eat right now. So that was kind of funny. I think I would have done better if I wouldn't have eaten at all, because I felt like afterwards I kind of got a little bit of brain fog as well.
So it's about halfway through, maybe a little over halfway through my 24-hour detox challenge, a dopamine detox challenge. And I know that my hormone balance is very, very fragile, and I also have this little problem lately with my iron levels. I think I still need to get a blood test done so I can know for sure what it is. That basically gets me to get dizzy, like kind of like when you are drunk and you go lay in a bed and then the bed just starts I guess moving like you're in a boat. So I am gonna eat right now, but I have to say that food, not eating, was not a struggle. I feel like so far what I've struggled with the most has been not being able to share my accomplishments with my friends and family, and being very excited about some things and not being able to express that out to the world. So kind of having to sit with myself and I guess celebrate things, and also I guess the mental strain, because I think our brain just literally becomes obsessed and addicted to social media interaction and online interaction and texting and receiving notifications, and that really starts to make you happy.
So in retrospect, I would definitely want to try something like this again, but I think I would just do it in a different way. I think I would stick to the no tech rule, as well as no podcasts or books, to make sure that I wouldn't let outside information define like my final decision making. Yet I would allow for myself to listen to music and allow for the music to kind of dance with my brain and create some beautiful things together. I would love to make this an adventure that I would go on with at least one other person and allow ourselves to kind of intertwine creatively and to come out of that experience feeling the same creative high that I experienced in the beginning stages of the challenge, but holding on to that and really making sure to capitalize on it and make sure that together, let's say if I would have a business project or a creative project that I wanted to do, that I would be able to sit down with someone and without us letting external sources influence what we're going to do, sit down and create from what we already know, because I feel like that is the deepest, most beautiful point of knowing that is going to allow you to create something that is so you to the core, that is going to amaze people when you bring it out, and it's really going to vibe on your level because you created that with all of your juices and it's not anyone else's. I would love to create something like that where I do a day full of creating without any technology, without any external sources, and just see how that is going to go. So I feel like being in this state brought me to an experience that allowed me to see parts of myself that I usually forget. And I remember parts of other people that I need to praise more, and I found myself reflecting a lot more, and I found beauty in little things and higher appreciation for the meaningful connections that I'm lucky enough to experience every single day. I found more love for my surroundings, myself, and ultimately, in the silence, I found peace.